good? What's good? What's good? Unconventionally Miles, another podcast. Got a lot of things to upload for you guys. Ton of things in the cut. But you know I had to jump on. I don't know if you guys are into the NBA playoffs. First round is a little crazy right now. Who's your picks? Also, I know you guys seen the Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia fight. I wasn't surprised. I knew the keys for Ryan to win. I knew the keys for Devin to win. And the thing that I thought would happen if Devin Haney didn't watch the hook and certain other things happen. It's life. You win some, you lose some. I'm off of that now. Question for you guys. Do you know the difference between leadership and management? And what style do you prefer? For me, when I worked at a 9-to-5, whereas I worked in an office building and I worked in an office, I had several managers. It's not too many managers that I respected or liked their style, because most of those managers, whether they did the job I was doing or not, they were so far removed from it once they became a manager that they didn't remember the things that they went through when they was in the same position as me, right? So a manager usually didn't get in the trenches with me. The manager usually couldn't show me what I was telling them what I was going through. The manager just basically overseen the metrics, the number I had to hit, the clients I had to call, how long I was on the phone for if I had to be on the phone, how many relationships I built. But in the situations where I was new and didn't have the training and didn't have the experience, a lot of times they couldn't physically and manually show me what to do. So in return, over time, as I got better, I lost respect for them because I started realizing they didn't want to show me because they couldn't. They was burnt out. But when you take that position as a manager, quote unquote, I would hope you have some leadership skills as well, right? A manager is going to manage your metrics, manage the number you need to hit, manage everything the company that hired them as the manager would like them to do. So off rip, I was like, I wouldn't want to be a manager. I'm a leader. So on the flip side, as a leader is going to be several leadership styles. Situational leadership, depending on the situation, they can switch their leadership up, right? You can have servant leadership, right? Those are the two I want to talk about right now. Servant leadership usually makes you feel as if the company you work for is not just theirs, it's ours. So they treat you as a teammate, right? So as a leader, I think is extremely important, and that's the style I like because they're going to get in the trenches with you. They're going to show you how to do what they're asking you for. And they're going to show you you can physically see them giving you an example of what they would like you to do. Also, you gain and garner more respect because they still can perform the job or the task they're asking you to do, right? So just even in life, growing up, I wasn't a leader. And sometimes when you're a leader, you have to follow. But choose wisely on who you follow when you're following someone's leadership. When you're a young kid, you want to follow behind the older guys. Sometimes those older guys are going to lead you into a collision and crash course. They're going to spin you, right? Just to see the outcome that they didn't want to do. But I was around some great leaders growing up. And I've been around some good and great leaders as being an adult. And I tip my hat off to them, right? Even if I didn't like their leadership style, I still picked up some tools and tricks and tasks that I can utilize in how I would want to be a leader. Every leadership style is not for everyone, but if you pay attention, you'll find a lesson in how they're leading you, right? Also, I prefer a leader that teaches you how to do something or shows you how to do something, but in return, they still let you work on your own skill set and customize how you want to move forward in your leadership growth, right? As I'm helping someone or if I'm a mentor with someone, I never force them to do what I do. I just give them tools and tips on what they can use in their repertoire and their toolbox in order to be successful in their journey, right? But anything that I explain to them or try to teach them, I'm showing them in real time. If I'm going into, let's say, your territory and you need to build relationships with certain individuals or certain companies, I will literally go with that person in their territory and show them how to build the brand, show them how to market, show them how to build a relationship, show them how to create a partnership. I'm going to show you how I did it, so you could physically see it with your eyes and manually digest everything, right? And then when we go out to eat on lunch or we get back in the car, then I'm going to just say, hey, what did you see? What did you like and what did you dislike? What were you comfortable with and what were you uncomfortable with, right? When you know your uncomfortabilities, you're able to say, okay, either I need to get more confident in this area or that's not me, so it's not going to align. And you're able to determine if it's fear or lack of wanting to do it. And the things that you're confident when you like, oh, I can do that. I can mimic that. I can put that into my own toolbox and I can utilize that, right? So those are some things you could do. So leadership and management, people, you intertwine those things. And as you learn, you realize what's best for you. Traditionally, when you're at a corporate America job or you're in some form of job where you're working for someone else, typically you're going to see management. Sometimes that individual who's in management, they just been around for a long time when the company started, so they know the most at the moment. So individuals move them in that manager role. Some individuals had your same position, did very well, and then went into management because they was burnt out from doing your role. And now when they're in management, they just forget everything. They like, oh, I'm a manager now. So everything that I know I seen as a rep doesn't apply anymore. I'm just going to have upper management. My boss is telling me what to do, and I'm going to trickle that down, and I'm going to just follow directions because I never want to be back in that rep position again. We see those individuals all the time. My question is, how do you like it? Are you an individual who will rather be a manager or leader? What are some of the things you like about managers and what are some of the things you like about leaders? Now, don't get me wrong. I do not dislike managers. I prefer a manager that manages, but understand that I'm a leader. So it's a certain way I like to do things once I'm equipped with experience and knowledge and being out there. Some managers is great. Talk to me about what you need to talk to me about, but move out of my way when it's time for me to perform. Don't act as if you've never been in my position, whereas what I'm saying doesn't hold any weight, and it does. Managers are not usually individuals who are in the field currently. They was in the field previously. Things change every day, all the time, every second, minute, and hour. So don't act as if what I'm saying is not valid, especially if you know my character. Right? In some places, management is awesome. They may send you an email. They may just give you a call, right? But I just prefer leadership. I prefer someone, hey, I need help with this. They come out there to my aid to help me or to show me or to work through that problem together. For me, leadership is always going to garner more respect because they're willing to get their hands dirty. And when you say you have an issue, if they can't assist you with it, they're going to whoever they report to say, hey, this is an issue right here. My teammate or rep is going through this. Let's work on it. This is going to trickle down to everybody. Leadership is going to listen. Sometimes managers doesn't. Now, once again, for those who's listening to this and you're in a manager position and you have a mixture of management and leadership, I applaud you because everybody can't do that. Usually leaders can mix and mingle management, but I haven't met too many managers that can mix and mingle leadership too often. It's individuals out there, so pay attention to what I'm saying. It's free to pay attention, right? But I do not run into them too often in my journey, right? This is what made me want to start my own business and become more of a business owner. And I basically work, educate, and inspire and motivate those individuals who work with me, not for me. Because I don't say anybody work for me. I was able to do that. Anyone who works with me, I motivate them to work on their own goals and move on. I'm not here to keep anyone in this position or this opportunity. I may lose a great partner, but I gain a great friend. And whatever business, whether we're competitors or not, we can always, on my side, we can always converse and have a relationship. When I make money, money doesn't stop for anybody else. They don't stop printing money when they make it for someone else. I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm in competition with myself, right? So I see individuals all the time. I'm in a current role where I work with several companies. I contract my work out, right? And it's individuals who try to beat what I do because I'm good at what I do, individuals say. I don't toot my own horn. I'm not into that. They try to beat me, but what they're not understanding is my personality allows me to excel. You're trying to mimic or beat what I do, but you never had a conversation and you don't know what I do in order to build the relationship, create the brand, right? Secure that territory. Have individuals call me on referrals. I don't have to do too much reaching out once I solidify and stamp who I am and what I do and how I can help that organization. I don't have to do too much more. I can't teach you what I can do by just talking to you. It has to be me talking to you and showing you what I do. And if we don't have a relationship, you being able to see what I do, right, with your own eyes is going to be difficult. Because if we don't have no relationship and you're reaching out to me, but I know you're reaching out to me more of a someone told you to do it, or you really don't want to do it because you don't like to see me win, a lot of times we'll never have a conversation. So when I'm doing a job or I'm contracted to do something, I don't care if someone's better than me because I'm only going to get better, right? I'm in a student mode at that time. And even though individuals say they love competition, I'm in competition with myself. I see where the goalpost is at. I'm trying to surpass that, but I'm trying to surpass that respectfully. No one can trick me out of my position. I'm me, for whatever it be. I'm me at all times. Good, bad, or indifferent. But as I got older and I got more wisdom, I start understanding, hey, don't chase the person who's number one. Focus on what your goal is, and then you go there. If the goalpost is 7 feet, my goal at that moment may be 8. My goal at that moment may be 7 feet. But I don't put a ceiling on how great I can be in any situation, right? So if you're in a leadership position, great. Or if you're in a position where you're an admin or you're overseeing a project or certain individuals, are you a manager or are you a leader? And if you're a manager, what kind of manager are you? And if management works for you and your staff loves it, explain to me or leave a comment on what do you do in order to keep your team happy? And if you're leadership, what leadership style do you use? Dictatorship, situational leadership, servant leadership, a mixture of both, a combination of all three, right? Which one do you use and why? On the flip side, when I took positions where I'm overseeing individuals, I knew why I was taking that position. As I'm in a leadership role, I'm taking that position because I see potential in a ton of individuals that I'm working with, and I want to help them reach their zenith or their pinnacle in being great. I may be burnt out as well, and I may see it's more value in me educating and motivating and inspiring and leading individuals in that role, and that's why I took that role. But it's never just for the money for me, right? As I'm thinking further, I know some great managers, but those individuals who are great managers that I know, I'm not saying all managers, those managers that I know that are great, they have limitations on how great they can be because they're too nervous to go back out in the field. They're too nervous to, or the lack of wanting to do it and go back out there and physically, manually show someone they don't want to do that no more. They feel they did their time. So that limits you, right? So ask yourself, do you understand and do you know the difference between leadership and management? Which one do you prefer, right? And as you was moving up in the ranks of if you work for a company or not, those individuals that were in an administrative role, how did they help you get there? Was they more of a leader? Was they more of a manager? Also, it's okay to work a 9 to 5. The biggest advice I would give you, don't work a 9 to 5 and put all your time in that 9 to 5 if you know you one day want to own your own business, so you have other things you're doing on the side, you have to put in more work for your own business than you do for someone else's, right? So use your 9 to 5 to funnel and get the capital for what you want to do on the side. It's nothing better than having your own and using everything you learn throughout the process of your growth to make your business successful and bring those who you love or you come across that work with you up as well. Owning your own business is definitely not hard. It's a learning experience. You're going to lose money. You're going to gain experience. Working for a 9 to 5, you're going to gain money. You're going to gain experience, but you're going to lose time if you don't see what's the most important outcome. Leadership and management both could be great. I prefer leadership. There's some individuals out there that prefer management. And I have not ever been a manager who micromanaged. It just doesn't make sense. We're grown. Now, in certain situations, you have to micromanage certain individuals, but it's very small set of people, and I have to have that conversation. I'm not here to baby you. I'm not here to check up on you every day. If you need help, you can ask me, but me hovering over you, I'm not here for that. And if you can't abide by the things that's needed to be done in your role, then this might not be for you. But I'll always have that conversation respectfully. So, unconventionally Miles, I love touching on topics that are vital and pivotal. And a lot of times we think about it, but we just don't have anyone to talk to about some of those areas of interest. It's getting warm outside. It's getting extremely warm where I'm at. So don't get me wrong. If you don't, I'm going to be mixing mingling different podcasts that I'm on so you guys can view that as several things that I'm doing. But I have several different podcasts in the cut episodes to upload. But by the time I upload them, sometimes they're not meant to upload because what's taking place in that given moment now is considered past tense. I don't want to bombard you with a ton of episodes at once, but maybe I should. Maybe I should post more episodes more frequently throughout the week. Right? So I just give you a ton of listen to during the week. Let me know if that's something you think as well. I have a ton of content in the cut now. Even when I'm not uploading it, I'm still making content. Right? So make sure you check me out on my TikTok, Unconventionally Miles. Right? Check me out on my Instagram, Mr. Frequent Flyer Miles, or check me out on my mortgage Instagram at Mr. Frequent Flyer Miles or One Touch Mortgage. Check me out on the podcast with my co-host. Me and Freddie P is Two Brains, One Goal. I'm moving and shaking. I'm going to be on a podcast with a young lady, Becoming Miriam. You heard her on my podcast in about 2 weeks. Her podcast is booming. So I'm just moving and shaking, man. Trying to get as much knowledge and wisdom as possible day by day. Educating, motivating, inspiring, and also learning. This podcast journey is an experience. It's a learning experience. You got your ups and your downs, but you got to stay consistent when you're not motivated. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency, if you can keep that, it's going to make you great in your own right, and you're going to continue to elevate whatever you're looking to do and elevate and educate other people. So once again, what I want to leave you with is several questions. Are you a leader or are you a manager? Do you prefer leadership or do you prefer management? If you prefer leadership, why? Comment in the comment area. If you prefer management, why? If you're a combination of both, let me know why. Because you could have been a leader and a manager, and you basically combine them, and it makes you just this great administrator to educate, motivate, help people propel to whatever their goals is. If that's you, that's great. I would love to hear how you did that, so I can add it to my toolbox. I'm always in a learning state. I don't know everything, and I don't want to come across like I do. So definitely let me know. Unconventionally Miles podcast, another episode on this Sunday. Also talk about the playoffs and the boxing match. I'm up out of here. 1.